Hey there, welcome to Play Noggin. I'm Julian, your brain's player 2. The world was a very different place back in 1992. The Super NES was less than a year old and still completely blowing our minds, and for most gamers, the height of video game violence was Mario jumping on a Goomba. Then everything changed with Mortal Kombat. Oh, hey, content warning on this video everyone, we're going to be looking at some gross stuff. If you're not into that, now would be the time to leave. Or just think of it as if you're learning about human anatomy. Oh shoot, should I have given you more time to leave? I am so sorry. Mortal Kombat was badder and bloodier than anything we'd seen before, and one of its biggest innovations was the Fatality. This was a crazy gory super move that didn't actually serve any gameplay purpose. By the time you were able to use a Fatality, you'd already won. This was just a fun way to rub your victory in your opponent's face. Plus, it was a flashy and exciting moment that was sure to draw curious arcade attendees to watch. That and one character literally said, "Get over here!" The latest installment from 2015, Mortal Kombat X, ratcheted up the gore to glorious new heights, providing slow-mo, X-ray glimpses into what was happening inside your character's meat sack as they were utterly demolished. Today, we're going to look at how the fatalities of some of MK's most famous fighters might actually work, according to science. One quick note, I'm terrible at fighting games, and basically never play them, but we had requests for Mortal Kombat, so I got my butt stabbed, burned, and kicked just to make you happy. Don't worry, I did find ways to keep myself entertained. Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself? Alright, let's start. Kano is a criminal with a rad cybernetic eye and a penchant for ripping still beating hearts from his opponent's chests. At least that was his thing in the first game. Now he's using that eye to blast clean through his opponent's faces. You know that expression that you can feel eyes burning into the back of your head? Apparently Kano took that literally. So, could a laser burn through a human skull? Of course, it depends on the laser. A 5mW handheld laser pointer can't. You'll notice you don't fry your cat every time he catches the red dot. But if you had enough of them, you could start to do some damage. A physicist who was asked how many laser pointers it would take to kill a person came back with a figure of 200,000, provided they were focused through a lens to create a 1kW beam that would be hot enough to melt through a person's eye and boil their brain, so long as they stayed very still. Lasers get their power from being a tight, focused beam of photons. If the victim is uncooperative and moves, the laser won't be able to stay on one spot and get it hot enough to melt. Now you know why Bond villains always strap him down when trying to kill him by laser, but he still has enough time to hear their whole evil plan and then escape. Kano isn't going the lazy way of melting through the eye to get to the brain though, he's boring right through the skull. That means his laser would have to be a lot more powerful than 1kW. The brain is mostly made of fat, and so it probably goes gooey anywhere from 150 to 260 degrees Celsius. Bone, on the other hand, is made of sterner stuff, specifically HYDROXYAPATITE, otherwise known as bone mineral, which makes up about 70% of your bones by weight. It has a melting point of 1100 C, much higher than your fatty brain. Not that the right laser can't handle that. In 2012, a laser heated matter to 2 million degrees Celsius, making it the hottest thing on Earth besides me. So yes, it is possible for a laser to melt through a skull, but you'd get more of a tiny pinprick than a nice big hole. But come on, where's the gore in that? God of Thunder and all-around good guy Raiden has some brutal ways of killing you, though admittedly, most of them amount to pumping you so full of electricity that you explode like a sack of chunky beef stew. Turns out, Raiden's a classic overkiller. The amount of electricity needed to kill someone is 7 milliamps for 3 seconds. True, this electricity has to reach your heart in order to kill you effectively. By interfering with special cells in your heart that control how it pumps, a little shock in the right place can throw your heart out of whack, causing arrhythmia. A lack of rhythm in your heart can be fatal, both on the dance floor and in real life. Luckily for us, our hearts are very much inside our bodies, and our bodies do a good job of fighting against charges like that. Our skin has a resistance level of between 5,000 and 15,000 ohms, and that can be affected by a lot of things, like whether or not you're wet and what clothes you're wearing. Still, if Raiden is a thunder god with lightning fully at his command, then it really is no problem for him to penetrate your defenses. 10% of lightning strikes are fatal, and one of the leading killers is cardiac arrest, though since your brain uses electricity, seizures aren't uncommon either. The heat from the lightning can also cook your brain outright, though your eyes won't pop out like in MKX. The expanding air from the sudden heat will also form a shockwave and has been known to throw people across their yards or knock their shoes off when they're struck by lightning. Finally, we come to our friend Sub-Zero. He's one of many palette-swap ninjas with superhuman powers. He freezes his opponents so he can hit them more easily, which usually just sends them flying into an instant thawed state. But other times, usually after the omniscient Mortal Kombat announcer guy says, "Finish him!" Sub-Zero's blows will straight up shatter his opponents. Sub-Zero must be making combatantcicles at different temperatures here. There's something called the ductile-brittle transition temperature, which is the point at which a solid substance will shatter on impact. If he has mastery over ice, it's conceivable that his mid-combat freeze is merely a surface-level one, and his fatality turns the temperature down far enough to cross that ductile-brittle transition zone, leaving you with nothing but chunks. Hey, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and let your friends know about Play Noggin. Just casually slip it in there when you're playing Mortal Kombat. If you have any ideas for games we should cover, drop us a comment below, and don't forget to keep on playing. Oh, you found the secret bonus character, Reptile. Reptile melts face in MKX, both figuratively and literally. The acid he spits is so corrosive it can wipe the smirk off Johnny Cage's face, and utterly melt a body in a few seconds, which is somehow less impressive. While body disposal by acid bath is a favorite of mobster movies, the reality isn't as... fun isn't the right word. Acid can indeed help break down proteins and fats, and can even catalyze the breakdown of that tough HYDROXYAPATITE we mentioned earlier into calcium and phosphate. But rather than an instant goo puddle, the process can take days or weeks, even with a strong acid like sulfuric acid. Even then, there's a high chance something will remain. In the 1940s, John Haig murdered 6 people and dissolved their bodies using sulfuric acid. He was caught when police found 13 kilograms of fat, gallstones, part of a left foot, and fragments of bone buried at his workshop. So yes, acid can mess you up, especially if you hang out in it for a long time. But a quick dissolving kill isn't a reality of our world. Maybe the nether realms, though.